have the color established on our turtle, let's start looking at how we can increase our understanding of the surface characteristics, specifically the bumps and the grooves. One of the things that I wanted to include in my turtle model were all the really cool ridges on top of the turtle shell itself. And creating those ridges using our sculpting tool at times was a big hassle, and it was very difficult. Let me show you how we can do kind of a very similar idea with a texture. And we're going to be using the height information to generate all of this surface height itself. So I'm inside of my shell texture set in the folder called shell, and I'm going to add in a new fill layer. And you're probably wondering, why in the world am I going to put a new fill layer inside of my shell? Well, I want this new fill layer to only influence the height channel of the combined aggregate of all of these inputs in my material itself. So I'm on the fill 2 layer. I don't want it to be controlling color. I don't want it to influence roughness. I don't want it to be doing metallic. I just want it to be looking at the height in the normal. To be able to control this non-destructively and in a way that allows us to art direct, let's use a mask. Masks are a non-destructive way of us to very quickly throw down some information. So I want to apply a black mask, and I want to paint white strokes on the height channel for my object. Now let's just do it real fast. I got my little paintbrush icon going here, and if I draw a circle, you can see, well, nothing really happens. Let's examine specifically what's been happening in the back end of our system. By going into this pull down menu, of course, we can see our mask, and we can very easily see that I, in fact, painted a circle in my mask, but nothing happened. We didn't have an effect on anything. Let's return to the material and explore the contents of this fill layer to get a much larger understanding of how this is all going to work. We are now currently masking this fill layer. So this black and white image is determining the visibility of the effect. Well, right now, the effect is driven by this one slider down here at the bottom. The effect is 0. That means nothing, and it's not doing a single thing. If we begin to change this slider, then this mask will have an influence on how this effect is going to look. There we go. Now we're creating the depth. We can push it way down. If we go above, we can push it out. And that's pretty cool. Now, it's just an illusion. We're not actually changing the geometry at all. We're changing how the light is interfacing and is bending and creating shadows and highlights to create the illusion. But it's a pretty realistic illusion, and one that is just perfect for creating the surface details of my little shell here. And now with that in mind, let's go back to the mask. I think I hit the undo key. Let's paint with black. Make my brush a little bit bigger. I'll get rid of all this. I'll just do it really quickly so you can see the grand illusion of what it is that we're trying to do here. Let's make the mask or the brush just a little bit smaller, maybe a little too small. There we go. And now, check it out. We can even do a little smooth stroke action. We can ease in and ease out. Oops, I forgot. I hit the undo key. Let's put this to plus a little bit here. Go into our mask. Let's see, why is it not working? Let's go back into the mask channel itself. I don't think I'm painting with the right color. No, I'm painting with black. I forgot to change the values. Now, when I paint on the mask itself, yeah, there we go. Okay. And now I can very quickly create the illusion of all those little ridges. Now, I like using the masks, especially in combination with the height channel, because we can go in and customize this if we'd like. Clearly, we don't want it to have the illusion of it popping out. We want the illusion to be popping in. Well, how much in? Maybe just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. If I go back into the mask, got my paintbrush loaded up. My brush tip is just way too big. Yeah, something like that. Now we can continue making these little lines everywhere we want it to go, which is pretty cool. Which is a lot of fun. Now, I'm doing this with the mouse. I'm not doing it with my pen tablet. But you can see the type of illusion that we're creating here. The small little jaggeds that we're creating, these little jagged edges, are coming from the texture resolution. I may want to go back in and adjust the texture resolution, maybe restart my project file with a higher resolution to get the illusion that I'm after. doing this type of work would have been really, really painful over in Blender. And I apologize if it was painful for you over in Blender. It was not my intention to make it painful for you. But this is one of the powerful things about texturing inside of Substance Painter, is that we can very easily create this result using a texture. And with these ideas of surface relief created inside of the texture itself, I can go in and I can continue to colorize this and paint this to make it look the way I want it to look. Yeah, and we're getting there. It's not the super best example at the moment. I'm not thrilled at all with the quality of this, but it definitely serves the point as to how we can use this system to create a very custom texture map for our object itself. And I like using these height values because we can just go in, we can continue to adjust it. Maybe we want it to be deeper, or maybe we want it to be real shallow. We can continue to adjust this after the fact. Maybe we monumentally messed up and we want to go in and make a change. Well, we don't have to start over. We can just go into the mask, and instead of painting with black, or excuse me, instead of painting with white, maybe we paint with black and we erase it. A non-destructive workflow is going to give us the most control over how these effects are going to influence the final product that we're creating. The masking system instead of Substance Painter gives us that flexibility in creating the color, but also creating the height for our textures.